sponge. By the vinegar which they gave unto him, it was made known concerning them that their will was changed from what it had been formerly, and that they had turned themselves from integrity to wickedness. And by the gall was made known the bitterness of the accursed serpent which was in them. And they showed that they also had belonged to that good vineyard from which prophets and kings and priests and they themselves had drunk. But because they had become wicked heirs, who would not labor in the vineyard of my beloved, they produced husks instead of grapes, and the wine which they pressed out therein was sour. And having crucified the heir on the wood, they mixed some of the impurity of their wickedness with their sour wine, and gave him to drink of the wine from the vineyard of the Gentiles. But he would not drink, saying, Give me of that wine which my father brought out of Egypt. For Christ knew that the prophecy of Moses which had been prophesied concerning them had been fulfilled in them. For Moses said, Your grapes are grapes of gall, your clusters are bitter. Your poison is the poison of the serpent, and their head is that of a malignant viper. These are the things which ye rendered unto the Lord. Observe, O my brother Nemesius, that the blessed Moses with the eye of the Spirit foresaw the things which they were going to do to Christ, and said, These are the things which ye rendered to the Lord. The congregation of the crucifiers was a decayed vine, its daughters were bitter grapes, and its sons were clusters of gall. Their head was Cephas, the malignant viper, and they were all evil serpents, and all of them were filled with them, the venom of Satan, who is the evil serpent. Instead of the water of the rock which had been given them to drink in the wilderness, they gave him vinegar to drink, and instead of manna, the gall of the quail. They did not give him a cup to drink from, but a sponge, so that they might show that the blessing of their fathers had been swept away from them. Now this is the evident from what follows. When a vessel is empty and there is no wine in it, they wash and wipe it with a sponge. Even so did the Jews do when they crucified Christ, for with a sponge they wiped away and removed from themselves royalty and priesthood and prophecy and the religion of Christ, and gave them to Christ, and the vessels of their bodies washed and empty remained only. And the law and the prophets having been fulfilled, and Adam having been sent and seen the fountain of living water, which was poured out from above for his redemption, then was Christ smitten with the spear, and blood and water flowed down from his side, but they were not mingled with each other. For what reason did the blood come forth before the water? For two reasons. First, that through the blood life might be given unto Adam, and then, after life and resurrection, the water for his baptism. Secondly, that through the blood he might show that he was immortal, and through the water he might show that he was mortal and a bearer of sufferings. The blood and the water ran down into the mouth of Adam, and Adam was redeemed, and put on a garment of glory. And Christ wrote the edict of his return with the blood of his own person, and dispatched it by the thief. And when an end had been made of everything, the writ of repudiation of the congregation was written, and the congregation became a thing cast aside, and it was stripped of its glorious raiment, even as in times of old David had, through